Hey, it's Delissa, mom of two silly boys. Well, as you can see, I'm in my car today, waiting for my boys to get out of school. So I thought this would be a great time for me to keep going on our knit along, seeing that this is the time I normally do a lot of my knitting, since it's just a lot of waiting around for the boys. So we are up to the 5-inch part. So we're on, let's see, knit around for 5 inches. And as you can see, I knitted around for 5 inches. So I'm well beyond my 5-inch point. And then what I went on to do is I went on to do the decrease pattern. So I knitted 9 and then knit 2 together. I'll give you a mini tutorial in the middle of this video to show you, just in case you didn't know how to do knit 2 together. So I am actually at, let's see, so here's my pattern. I have done knit 2, then together, I have to find where it is, knit 2 together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm at knit 2 together, knit 5, which is row 9 on our pattern. So I'm going to keep going around and doing that. But as you will notice, it's stretching out. So when the pattern said, once it starts stretching out like this, to switch to the double pointed needles, and we'll go ahead and do that. Let me show you quickly. So I did 5. So we're going to knit 2 together. So you just simply, just like you've been knitting, you put the needle into 2, knit around, and you knit those 2 together, and you continue. And as you can see, it'll start getting tighter like it is on me right here, because you don't have really much slack. And this is where we're going to transfer onto our double pointed needles. So I've knitted 2 together, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I'm going to do is get my double pointed needles. I don't want anyone to be afraid of their double pointed needles. So you're going to use double pointed needles that's just about the same size as your current needles. I'm going to go down a little smaller. You can go down a little smaller too if you'd like. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the first double pointed needle. And see this needle right here that we've been knitting with? You're going to keep that one aside because we don't want to lose that one. Set yourself up, and we're just going to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at knit 2 together. So you're going to take this and you're just going to start knitting the pattern, and you're going to move the stitches onto your double pointed needles. So knit 2 together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for me, I've come to the end of my knit, so I go ahead and knit 1 more with that, because I'm about to start the next row. So I have all that on. So I have these stitches already on that one. Take my stitch marker, slide it onto my double pointed needle, so I'll always know where that front one is. And then I go on to knit 4. So I go on to row. Well, no. Odd. Okay, so change double pointed needles. Knit all even rows. So now I'm on an even row. So I'm just going to knit. What you want to do is you want to keep moving these around here so it'll eventually come off of your double point, off of your circular needle. And so, I hope you guys could see. So I'm just going to continue knitting a few stitches onto this one. So I have some on this. What you want to do is divide it up evenly. We have a lot less. We have a bunch of less stitches because we've knitted some together. So I'm just going to try to divide it evenly. So I've knitted on this one. I'm going to get another empty one. And I'm just going to knit some onto this one. So every even row is a knit. So I am doing row 10, which is a complete knit. So I'm going to keep moving my stitches around because it's coming off of this. You'll see how much easier it'll be as soon as we get it off. Alright, so I have enough stitches on that. And how many stitches you put on this is arbitrary. And you want to always try to keep the stitches in the middle. That way they can't slide off the front or the back. Get yourself another needle. And you're going to continue this process until all the stitches are on double pointed needles. And remember, if you have any questions on what I'm doing here, if I'm going too fast, you could always rewind, or you could email me at M2sbknits@gmail.com. So please feel free to email me any questions you may have. Alright, so I've knitted some on that. So you should have 5 of these because 5 come in a set. You get another one out, and you're just going to do the remaining of your stitches. Well, I'm a little tangled here. Oh, I dropped my needle. Always the crazy thing about knitting in the car. Alright. Okay, well, let's try this again. Okay, so here we go. So I'm just going to continue. And I'm going to get all these stitches off this needle. There we go. And my circular needle is free. Get my plastic bag where I've been keeping all of my supplies. Put that back in there because that's now free. I'm finished with that use. And as you can see, I have my 4 double pointed needles. These are all on. It still maintains that little circle. It's a square right now, but that's okay. It's still gonna be good. You're still knitting in the round, and you're just gonna continue. So, how do we knit on double pointed needles? It's a lot easier than you may expect it to be. So, here is my starting point. I simply take all the stitches on the needle I want to work on, slide them down towards the front of that needle. See, I slid them all the way down to the front. And I get another empty one. So you need 5 altogether. You get another one, and you simply ignore the other 3 that's around there, and you knit. You just knit like if you were knitting you only dealing with those 2 needles. And since we're on that knit all row, I'm going to go ahead and knit all. And here I am back at my stitch marker. Take my stitch marker, move it over, so that means I progress next. The next row is knit 4, knit 2 together. Okay, so here we go. Knit 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that finishes all the stitches I have on this one, and guess what? Now I have that one free. I then move over to the next needle. I then put that needle up top of the other one so I know which one I'm working with. Set myself up, move the needle, push it in so that my stitches come to the front. And the thing is knit 2 together. So knit 2 together, and I knit 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, knit 2 together, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm glad this issue came up. There's one extra here on this row and this needle I'm working on, and I need to knit 2 together. Here's what I do. You may find a trick that works better for you. I then slide this all the way down to this end, push the next needle I'm about to work with, and I slip this stitch right on there. Get that needle back on top, and then I just continue to work like nothing happened. So then I knit 2 together, go back to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, knit 2 together, knit 2 together, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, next needle is released. Put those under. And that's what you do. Just like if you were knitting on the circular needles. That was 4. So I go to this one. It's very important you keep count. Knit. Hoping you guys are seeing what I'm doing since I'm at a bad angle since I'm in my car. Knit 2 together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knit together. My needle's released. I know, needles, there's needles everywhere. You got to make sure you're on the right needle. Here's my trick. Wherever this needle, your yarn is, your working yarn, you're working on the next needle right to it. So you're going this way. You're always going to that side. Okay, so that was knit 2 together. So I'm knitting 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knit 2 together. And then I have one last stitch in this round, and then move over my stitch marker, and I know I need to knit the entire round. And that's basically how we do double pointed needles. And the best part about this, we are going to continually get in smaller, and the double pointed needles will be a better fit for it. And then if we have to stop like I'm about to stop now, we can simply collapse. Make sure your stitches are in the middle so they won't slide off. And you just collapse them down and roll them up and put them in your bag. Thank you so much for your patience. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at M2sbknits@gmail.com. Thank you so much. Until next time, continue doing that, and then I will be back when it's time to finish the hat. Thanks so much.